I don't know a single person who doesn't consume something. Not a single one. Millionaires, multi-deca millionaires I know, consuming stuff. Broke guys I know, consuming stuff. It's just that what they consume is different. So we have right now, what you're looking into, the most powerful tool we could have ever asked for. And I don't think we should see that as a bad thing, because a tool is not good or bad, it's simply just how the person uses it. Imagine a dumbass with a hammer will say the hammer's bad because he hurt his finger with it, whereas a skilled craftsman will say, well, yeah, it's a tool, it's fun, this is a good hammer. And this is maybe what's happening to a lot of us, because it's cool online in my space of self-improvement to tell guys like, yeah, content consumption's bad, guys, you know, just because it triggers you, because straight away you do see the time that's lost. But I'm telling you right now, the most successful guys out there who are making millions, they're consuming content. They're reading books. They're on YouTube still half an hour, 1 hour a day. Like I'm on YouTube for like maybe an hour or two per day. It's just, okay, let's just say this. We're probably going to be consuming. So now it's just, okay, well, what are you going to consume? If you hate yourself for consuming and you think it's a bad thing, you'll be more likely to watch bullshit. I think it's a good thing. And so when I thought it was a good thing, and I psychologically told myself that I can actually do it as much as I want and enjoy from it, but that I want to make it more valuable, suddenly I start to actually seek out the more valuable content, the longer form content, the unedited stuff, the podcasts, like the first man videos and podcasts of people that I really like, who I look up to. And suddenly it's like, for hours every day, I'm getting unofficial mentorship from guys who are worth over 100 million, from guys who are far ahead of me. Hasn't everyone in this call, hasn't your life changed from watching content, watching my videos, watching maybe Tate or First Man or Hormozi? How did you learn anything if not from just consuming the content there? That's why I ask you, is it actually a bad thing that you spent half an hour learning? Maybe not. That's what we can walk you through. So a little belief inside of you has just been cracked. It's not just a bad thing that, oh, you know, I spent half an hour on YouTube. That's not inherently a bad thing, just like a hammer is not a bad thing. We just don't want to waste our time watching something that's not even that helpful. So there's something very practical you can do, everyone else can do. After this call, when you've got some time, open up like a document or a piece of paper and ask yourself, what is the 80-20 of the helpful, valuable content on YouTube? What 20% of the videos do I watch genuinely help me 80% of give me 80% of like the real thing that I wanted, which was like knowledge, education, learning, and like a real life benefit? You'll probably pick out it's not just a certain person, but it's a certain type of video from a certain type of person. So it's like, for example, Hormozi does his own videos on his own channel, and they're pretty nice. But when Alex Hormozi, this entrepreneur, when he goes and does podcasts with people, that's the 20% for me. And then suddenly it's like, okay, well, probably podcasts are quite good. When Andrew Huberman does a full-length podcast on something that I'm interested in, that's a 20%. And so suddenly now my learning online, like my content consumption, is only full of these 20%, which have genuinely changed my life completely. And they're the only things that I really watch. Now, of course, I make some mistakes. I end up watching some bullshit, which still, wastes like a few minutes here and there. But now my curation of content is very strong. So I'd ask you this live. What right now can you think is the 20% of content or videos on YouTube that has helped you the most? And there's other creators that you've watched who aren't as helpful. What I would do if I was you, unsubscribe, never watch their videos again. Now go and try and find another 1 or 2 guys who not only are kind of similar to me, that, they make self-improvement content, they speak in a certain kind of way, but they especially make the full guide style. So maybe like my full guides is just kind of like podcasts. So then you go find, let's say you find one other guy who makes videos on self-improvement like me and makes kind of like a full guide. Let's say it takes you like 2 hours to find him, and then you've got like 2 Hamzas that you watch. If my things change your life and you find another guy, let's say it's Andrew Huberman, and suddenly, you maybe seen some of his stuff, but you watch a couple and you're like, wait, this is actually like huge. Whoa. You've got 2 creators online. So now anytime that you've got half an hour, 20 minutes, 1 hour or something, go in and watch 20 minutes of their long video, and maybe only the long video. You said like my shorter videos help you, but maybe not as much as the full ones. Fair enough. But then obviously it's related to how much time. If you're spending 2 hours watching a video, you're expecting to get a lot more benefit than like a 10-minute one. But why not do that? Why not just say to yourself, I usually spend an hour a day on YouTube. The exact videos that help me the most is Hamza's videos, especially the longer ones. I'll spend 1 hour doing that, but I'm going to keep an eye out and try and find another person who makes exactly like very similar videos to Hamza, where they're long, they're full guides, they're structured. I can recommend First Man, I can recommend Andrew Huberman, and then just podcasts in general. When you go find a good podcast, and or you find a person who goes onto the podcasts, I find that they're very similar to my full guide style, where it's just like 1.5 hours of just value after value.